Welcome back to Rewind Rewatch. I am Andrene.
And I'm Joel.
And in this podcast, we are siblings.
And this is the Rewind Rewatch podcast.
I didn't say that?
No, you didn't.
Oh, God. I've been drinking, guys. This is the Rewind Rewatch podcast. We are siblings. What we do here is we rewatch 90s movies, discuss how well they've aged, talk about any quotes, themes, things that made us cringe, and then at the end of the episode, we will give it a rating between 1 and 5, talking about the rewatch value. Today we're talking about The First Wives Club. This is a PG movie from 1996 with a runtime of 1 hour and 43 minutes. And this was requested by Thwip Stickers.
Shout out.
He's been very lucky lately. I think he got like 3 in the last few weeks.
Lucky duck.
Yeah. All right, so I think we should start with the one-sentence summary. We've been kind of negligent with this.
Yeah, we've definitely been neglecting our duties. So how is this supposed to work? If it's your episode, I do it, and then one is my episode, you do it?
That's how we're supposed to do it, but I think we messed up on Major Pain, and I didn't do it. So last week it was yours and you did it. But just to get back on track, we should probably do it again this week.
Yeah, just to get back
on track.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah.
All right. The First Wives Club. So one sentence summary is 3 friends with recent divorces decide to create a sabotage plan to get back at their husbands.
Okay.
It's more than that.
Yeah.
It is like, but
that's the main.
How would you describe it though? Like, because it's not like a club per se.
No.
It's not like a club like the club that you would have when you're in 3rd grade and you're like,
no, they're trying to take their power back.
yes, but it's a sabotage plan.
Yeah.
Right? And then they get the daughter involved, but it's like, that's basically what it is.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing that it's hard to fit into one sentence, so I'm kind of cheating, is the fact that all of their husbands left them for younger women.
Yes.
So there's like the common theme there. There's a lot of like big picture themes in this movie that I'd like to get into, but
yes.
I'm gonna let you cook.
Yes. So much to get into.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just quickly go through the main characters. So we have Elise, who's played by Goldie Hawn.
She kills this movie, man.
Oh my gosh, she's so good. So when I think about Elise, you probably won't think of this, but there's this movie that came out actually in the 90s, in 1992, called Death Becomes Her.
Yeah, I know that movie.
Oh, I didn't know you've seen it before.
I'm pretty sure that's on the list.
I'm sure someone requested it.
The list.
The list.
The list.
Yeah, that's what I think about instantly, because that movie is just absolutely ridiculous, and I think about her in that movie. So that comes to mind. But in this movie, her character, the way she portrays it, the way that she is dealing with this divorce it's ridiculous in some parts. It's kind of funny, but it's also kind of sad at the same time when you think about it. But we'll get into her.
This film in general could have been very sad if it had been written.
Look at how it starts.
Well, yes, exactly. Like it, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I don't want to say too much.
All right, real fast. Okay, so Brenda is played by Bette Midler. You know, she was in Beaches. She was in Hocus Pocus 1 and 2, Stepford Wives. I mean, we know who Bette Midler is. She's huge.
You know who all these people are.
Yes. Annie is played by Diane Keaton. The Godfather movies, she was Kay. Annie Hall, Something's Gotta Give. I mean, Follow the Bride movies. Like, she's just everywhere. And then we have Shelley, played by Sarah Jessica Parker. Also Hocus Pocus. Mm-hmm. Sex and the City, all the shows and the movies and the And Just Like That reboot.
I forgot that show existed.
Bro, I was so excited for it, and I saw the first episode, and I was out.
You're out.
They killed Big in the first episode.
Not so big anymore.
Like, Big, oh God. So Big is out, and then Samantha didn't come back. So it was why am I even watching the show?
Samantha wrapped the show, but is that a deal breaker though? Like, were you watching Sex and the City for Samantha?
I wanted all 4 of them.
You needed the 4. You needed the full combo.
I needed the cohesion. And then, it was a lot of things I didn't like about it. I'm not going to get into it here, but I wasn't a big fan. And then, of course, her biggest film, Failure to Launch.
Of course. Of course.
The biggest one of them all.
Wait, Failure to Launch is Sarah Jessica Parker?
Yeah.
I thought that was like, isn't that Matthew McConaughey
and her?
Oh, I thought it was like some other girl whose name can't remember.
Yeah.
What's Goldie Hawn's daughter's name?
Yikes! I don't know. Oh, I know you're talking about the blonde girl who was in How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, but that's also with Matthew McConaughey.
Yes.
So I'm mixing.
You're mixing
her
the
up.
movies.
Okay.
Yes.
Right. So I don't even know if I've seen Failure to Launch.
I don't think I have either.
Is J-Lo in that? No.
I don't know about that.
I'm mixing up.
I feel like she would have been on the poster if she was.
That's
so
why I'm like, yo.
I don't think so.
There's a lot of these like early 2000s rom-coms that I didn't watch,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm conflating them. But I did watch How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. I do know that.
The movie's great.
All right.
And then real fast, we have Morty, played by Dan Hedaya. He was in The Usual Suspects. He was in Clueless. He played the Pops.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Commando, Mulholland Drive were big movies as well.
That's all I knew him as. Is like, oh, that's Cher's dad from Clueless. Like, I didn't even know his real name.
Okay, that's
but
cool.
Shout out to Dan.
Then we have Bill is played by Victor Garber. He was in Alias, the TV show, for about 5 years. He was in Titanic. He was in Legally Blonde. He was
I
in
have him
Argo.
in my notes as the Titanic guy.
He was in Argo.
So,
and also, he's in the most recent series of American Horror Stories. So he's still doing his thing.
Oh, shout out to the Titanic guy.
And then we have Aaron, who was played by Stephen Collins. We know him from Seventh Heaven.
Yeah, and we know him from some other things.
Yeah,
too.
he's he basically admitted to inappropriate sexual misconduct with 3 female minors.
Yep.
So
he was also on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
He played their pops,
their real
right?
dad.
Yeah.
Because Frank wasn't their actual dad.
Yeah. So like
that show.
After he basically admitted what was going on in 2014, his IMDb is real quiet after that.
Yeah.
There's nothing after that. It's just
that's a career-ending admittance.
Yeah. Then Phoebe is played by Elizabeth Berkley. We know her
Jesse
from
Spano.
Saved by the Bell. I'm so excited. And then of course Showgirls.
And of course, Showgirls. you can't mention her without mentioning both. You have to do Saved by the Bell and Showgirls.
It's impossible.
And the Saved by the Bell reboot, which I actually really enjoyed, even though it got canned after 2 seasons. But I like that.
I feel like the first season I enjoyed, and by the second season, I feel like I forgot to go back and watch it, to be honest.
That's probably why they canceled it.
Oh, it's my fault?
It was your fault.
Dang, that's crazy. Dr. Leslie Rosen is played by Marcia Gay Harden. She was in Mystic River, The Mist, The Morning Show, and the 50 Shades of Grey movies, which I did not watch those.
Morning Show is a banger, though.
Yeah, it absolutely is. Quickly, we have Duarto Felice, played by Bronson Pinchot. He's from
Perfect
Strangers and Risky Business.
Yeah, we know Bronson.
And
that's Belky. Wasn't that his name?
He's funny.
Perfect Strangers?
I believe so.
Belky.
Then you have Gunilla, who was the queen of New York society, played by Maggie Smith, R.I.P. She passed away this year. She was in Downton Abbey for a very long time, the show and also the movies. She also played Mother Superior in Sister Act 1 and 2.
I knew it. I'm like, yo, that's the nun from Sister Act. I knew it. Yo, I'm nice.
And then lastly,
I didn't look any of this up.
And then lastly, she played Professor McGonagall, I forget her name, from Harry Potter. She was in all those movies as well.
Heather Locklear's in this movie too.
Yeah, very, very short, very,
briefly,
very small.
But I was like,
role.
Ooh, yes, Lord.
Baddie.
Yo, that's a classic 90s hottie right there, man.
That's she sure is.
That's one of them ones.
And then lastly, Cynthia, who is basically the 4th friend who dies in the first couple of minutes of the movie. Cynthia is played by Stockard Channing. She played Rizzo in Grease.
In Grease, yeah. And
then she also was in The West Wing and Practical Magic. Okay. And also, Rob Reiner's there too. I mean, there's a lot of people in this movie, but I feel like
Rob Reiner's everywhere.
Yeah, Rob Reiner's always there, so he's there as well.
So off the bat, right? Like, I guess with these characters. Well, first of all, how many times have you seen this movie?
A ton.
Okay, so this is like a multiple rewatch film.
Yes,
I've seen this movie at least once before. Is there any of the First Wives that you like the most, or you connect with more than the others?
Yes, I would say Brenda.
Okay, why?
Because her issues, I felt like she dealt with a lot of issues where It wasn't so much like, oh, I need money to buy nice things. It was like, oh, like we have a child together and you're saying you don't have money to help out, but like you're taking your young, like high school of a girlfriend.
She's 12.
She wasn't in high school, but taking her shopping on these big spending sprees. And then like they keep talking about her weight. Like that, I just kept feeling so bad. Where like, there's one scene where she's in the mall and she runs into Shelly, who is played by Sarah Jessica Parker, and Shelly is the girlfriend to Morty. And basically, she says to her like, "Oh, do you want to try this on? Try to find it in like your size." And she makes like a whole comment of like putting her arms out to show like, "Oh, you're a fat girl." Mm-hmm. And throughout the movie, you see where Brenda has like these pictures or postcards of really obese women on her freezer.
Yeah.
So whenever she opens it, she can look at that and it reminds her like, don't eat. And it's like, oh,
and then she
bro.
closes the fridge back.
Yeah, it's just so hard to watch, and you just feel so bad for her because like she just wants to raise her son and like live and be a good mom, but she keeps getting like torn down and she feels bad about herself physically. And I just felt really bad for her.
So I think that is like definitely one of the big picture themes of this movie. And I also think about the 90s in particular, right? Like, obviously, like, fat shaming, weight, stuff like that. Like, that's just a part of misogyny, patriarchy, American culture, whatever. I feel like in the 90s, it was even more pronounced.
Oh, absolutely.
So I feel like, these are universal themes, but I think the time when this came out, it was saying more. We've even talked on this podcast before about some of the movies that we've covered, some of the movies like Clueless, where they're like talking about starving themselves and like making light of bulimia and stuff like that. And so I think this movie does a good job of like really questioning that whole concept of like, is a woman's worth based on how skinny she is or how she looks? And then even when we see some of the younger girls in this film, Sarah Jessica Parker comes to mind. When she shows up on screen, the first thing I notice, I'm like, yo, she's mad. She's tiny.
Seriously.
Like, you almost don't really even see that anymore. Like, now you're kind of getting more. I think society gives more love to, like, a bigger woman, right? Like, a Meg Thee Stallion is going to be looked at as, or a Beyonce, where it's like, oh, this is a sex symbol, opposed to 30 years ago when it's
a Kate Moss,
somebody who looks like a twig and is a size 0 and can wear the small dress. I mean, even like Hilary Banks on Fresh Prince, like she's also tiny, or what's her name? Fancy on Jamie Foxx show, right? Like that standard beauty in the 90s is a lot different. And so I think even the way that they dress Bette Midler from the beginning of the movie to the end is also just a little bit different.
Yeah.
So like it's more so like accentuating this fact that she's big, and they just kind of puff her up, making her wear like lumpy coats and stuff like that. So that when she starts dressing different, I guess it's supposed to give the assumption that like she lost weight and she's a little bit more confident. Yeah. She still doesn't look like Sarah Jessica Parker, but it's also like she doesn't need to.
Exactly.
And yeah, I just thought that like was probably one of the few films at this point in time that was really even
talking about
that in a way of like, yo, this is BS.
Right.
Because I think a lot of other films at the time were almost playing into it, especially because most films in the 90s are written by men.
Well,
so
there you have it.
and just like that.
Big is dead.
Just like that.
So let's talk about Elise, Goldie Hawn's character.
Let's talk about Elise.
What were your thoughts on her?
Elise is also very affected by patriarchal standards, which is like the umbrella theme of this entire movie, right? Men create this world and box us into standards that we have to live by because they've created them, and we're trying to find where we fit. And hers comes in the form of, I'm an actress who's aging, and I'm basically in denial about the fact that I'm 45 years old. So she's consistently getting work done. She's getting collagen shots in her lips. She's doing all these things to try to make herself feel and look younger. And even the roles that she's going for are like She's trying to like try out for positions for like 20 somethings.
Yeah,
when it's like, girl, you're 45.
Yeah, this is not for you.
I mean, don't you want to be able to play parts your own age?
My own age? No. You don't understand. There are only 3 ages for women in Hollywood. Babe, district attorney, and driving Miss Daisy. And right now, I want to be young.
Basically, the concept of like, I can't just be a 45-year-old woman because nobody's going to give me jobs.
I mean, and she's probably right.
Right.
That's the thing. So it's like, part of it's like, oh, she's doing the most, but it's like, she probably thinks that she has to, and she actually might have to. And there's a part where she's talking to her surgeon, and she's trying to get like Botox and more facelifts. And like, the surgeon doesn't want to do more work. So you know it's bad, because they're typically just out to get your money, right? Like, you go for your first consult, and they'll, like, you say, I want to get my nose done. And they're like, oh, well, if you come back, we could also do this and lift this and tuck this, you know? Yeah. But he's telling her, like, I mean, I think you're actually fine, which is saying quite a lot. And there's actually a part that I said is kind of funny, because they inject her lips so much that it looks absolutely insane. Mm-hmm. Like, her lips look like duck lips almost. They're so big. It's like, bro, can you
She's trying to hold the cigarette, and it's like hanging off the side of her fat lip.
Yeah. It's like, this is wild. But I think one of the other ways that this, just the works that she does, how it affects her, is her alcoholism. Because like,
I didn't even get to that part.
The amount that she drinks, it's absolutely insane. And there's a scene where all the girls get together. So basically, they have a friend from undergrad. Her name is Cynthia. And Cynthia ends up committing suicide after she finds out, you know, her husband who has left her has now remarried, you know, some young hot thing.
Heather Locklear.
And, you know, she's distraught. Her life is over. And she ends up jumping
off the balcony of her penthouse apartment.
And so the 3 other women, Annie, Elise, and Brenda, all go to the funeral, and they end up meeting up for lunch afterwards. And I was taking note of the drinks that they ordered. Mm-hmm. So you have Annie, who we'll get to in a second, and she orders a Virgin Mary. Brenda orders a regular Bloody Mary. And then Elise orders vodka on the rocks. Because she's like, I'm just here for the drinks. And like, I mean, the entire movie, every time we see her, except for when she's working out, I guess, she's just downing some kind of alcohol. Straight to the head.
Vodka.
You know? And this is how she's
drinking
dealing.
vodka the entire film.
Yeah. She's numbing the pain.
Yeah, I like that part too, because I thought the drink orders said so much. Like, that's like really good screenwriting, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like, I don't have to tell you. It's like, I'm just going to like say the little thing and then have you pick up on the clues.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which I guess brings us to Annie, who is the one who orders the Virgin Mary, who's like the mousy, unassuming, quote unquote, good girl of the group. But also you get the sense that she's a bit of a pushover. She has a daughter who basically tells her as much. Her parents, who is Annie and her husband, are separated, but she's still seeing this guy. The daughter's like, yo, dad's using you. Like, I love my dad, but how he treats you is trash. So that whole dynamic with her husband, she's basically being taken advantage of. But then we meet her mother.
Yes.
Who is a controlling mother who seems to still not have let her daughter be an adult, despite the fact that she's in her 40s. And so she's still grappling with that, right? Like, and you get the sense that she's basically lived her whole life under this pressure of her mom, which has basically stunted her growth as
an adult,
an independent adult.
It's not even just that, though. It's the fact that although the mom understands that the husband is dealing with commitment issues, because she said they're going to therapy because he has commitment issues.
Oh, they're going to therapy.
Yeah, because he has commitment issues, and she had issues dealing with self-esteem. And she's basically telling her mom about the whole situation and what's going on. And she's like, well, you know, maybe I can like find love. And her mom said, you're 46. You have a better chance of being slaughtered by a psychopath than meeting someone. So it's almost like, and then like when she hears that like she's still sleeping with Aaron, she's like happy about it. She's like, oh, honey, you're going to work it out. And it's like, bro, you're encouraging your daughter to go back to this guy with commitment issues? But like...
So this reminds me,
What?
actually, this reminds me of a conversation we were having earlier today in the group chat about Love is Blind.
Oh my God.
Like,
Oh,
this is the same thing.
Taylor.
I don't want to get into the whole thing with Tyler and Ashley. I'm not going to get into the whole thing.
If you watch it, you know.
But if you watch it, you know that basically one of the characters, Tyler, has some kids that he didn't tell his girl about before they're supposed to get married. Long story short, the other girl basically has like aired his dirty laundry all over social media, but his now wife, who met him on the show, has basically excused the fact that he's been neglecting his kids. And I was making the point in our group chat about how, like, you think about this archetype of a wife in the 40s or 50s who would kind of just put up with whatever. I mean, we even saw it in like Mad Men, right? Which is set in the 60s.
Yes.
Of like, if you get divorced, there's a blemish on you as the wife that you couldn't keep a man.
Even if he cheated.
Yeah, because you couldn't keep your family together. And so I think that at that time, there was this concept of like, no matter what, you don't leave, you just make it work. And that's better than being alone.
Yep.
And I think that concept, which I think is a lot of what Ashley is showing with Tyler, is also like kind of what her mom is doing here, which is kind of like having a man's better than being alone.
Because she's alone.
That's a great point.
That's what it is. Like, you got to think about, we don't know where her father is. They don't mention the fact that he died, so I'm assuming he just really wasn't in the picture.
Yeah.
So she was raised by a single mom, and so her mom's like, you have an opportunity to have a man in the house. So, like, what are you doing?
Yeah, so one of the quotes that I wrote down when she's talking to her mom about going to therapy and working on her self-esteem, she says,
You are married, you have a daughter, you're very happy, you don't need self-esteem.
which is funny, but also like, damn. Like, that's not like the best advice to give to your daughter. So, yeah,
it's
like
very
this is
cringe.
also, she's kind of in this space where she's now in denial about the state of her own marriage. Number one, because of the influence of her mom. Number two, because of the fact that her and her husband are seeing the same therapist, which, huge red flag. And like, why is that even
Well, I thought it was
thing?
couples therapy.
Is it?
Because they were there together.
But
weren't they?
I feel like she saw her alone though. Because remember when she's like, hit me, and she gives her the little Nerf bat?
Oh, you're right.
So they're both seeing the same woman.
Oh, yeah. I thought it was, I'm thinking
So it's
couples
like,
therapy
this
makes
is
sense.
also like not the way this is supposed to work. Like, you and your husband should definitely have different therapists. So yeah, like it seems like she's getting bad advice from all areas. And then also, she doesn't have enough self-esteem to be able to tell them, like, actually, you guys are wrong.
And she also has no friends this whole time.
Apparently
None of
not.
these women do, if you think
No.
about it. Because, like, they're all just dealing with their relationships in their own little bubble. And that's kind of why Cynthia ends up dying, because she just felt so lonely and so ostracized that once the man left her, she had nothing left.
Who can I run to?
It was just so sad. It was like, man, she was so lonely. And I think it's like some of these marriages that they showed us, they were probably so oppressive that like they had no room for friendships. Like all they had was the man. And when the man left, it was like, oh.
You know, that's interesting, because another thing that I was thinking about watching the movie was like, after, you know, at the beginning of the film, we see them graduating from college, they're best friends, class of 1969.
Mm-hmm.
And then we fast forward, and it's obviously, 25 years later, or whatever the case is. And when they meet up at Cynthia's funeral, there's a sense that they haven't seen each other in at least 20 years,
Yeah.
I think one of them mentions. And I wonder why that is, because it seems like they all live in New York. So it's like, why have y'all not seen each other for 2 decades?
I have no idea. That's what I'm saying. Like they got
it's
married.
not like you're so busy with your other friends, because none of you seem to really have any.
Well, also, I think it may be a sign of the time, because back then it's like the goal was essentially to get married and have a family. So maybe they're pouring so much into that relationship that they don't really have time for anything else. And there are some people like that. Think about people who like they get a man or they get a girl and then you don't see them anymore. And so
20 years is a long time.
But especially back then, it was just kind of like, oh, this is my new circle. This is how we roll.
There's no group chats to stay in touch with
There were
people.
no group chats back then.
There's no internet, which kind of gives us a cheat code. But it's like, you actually have to like make plans to see people.
Exactly.
Which is a lot more work that they probably just didn't do. So shout out to the group chats, though.
I want to get into Annie and Aaron because this is just diabolical.
Yo. Yeah. Like, Annie definitely gets the worst of it, like, amongst everyone else, where it's like, oh, you know, we look at Elise and it's like, oh, her husband is a producer and he leaves her for some young up-and-coming actress.
It's more than that, though. Because remember, like, he was trying to get half. Yeah, he was trying to get half of all the royalties, and she's like, bro, all those movies, they were all my idea.
Yeah.
Like I made you, and like now you're out here trying to get half of everything like that I made.
Right.
So yeah, it's the money. So I feel like honestly, like the cheating, I don't know if he cheated. I don't think they actually said that, but the leaving you is one thing. But I think for me, like,
well, he left her for Jesse Spano, so
right. He's also lying to her and making it seem like he can make her a star because she's with him.
Right. He's
one of those skeevy producers
creepy
who tells
producer.
Yeah. If you sleep with me, you can get the
come
part.
to my couch.
Yeah.
And then we have
a Weinstein, if you will.
Yes. Then we have Brenda, whose husband also leaves her for a younger woman. He has an electronics business that gets popular. He starts getting more money. He has like a midlife crisis. Mm-hmm. And then he's like, yeah, I want a young babe.
And Shelley was working for him.
Yeah, she was his executive assistant.
But again,
of course,
Brenda started with him in his very first store. Mm-hmm. She worked behind the counter. And she said, I worked at all his 11 his store. I worked behind the counter. And now he has this huge chain of businesses and he forgets who started him out. And now he found a younger model to replace me.
Right. So I think what makes Annie's situation different is the fact that, surprise,
not surprise.
Well, before we even say surprise, I think it's the fact that, number one, he hasn't actually left her. So he's like fake left her.
Yeah,
right?
They're separated.
I'm not living in the house and we're still seeing each other. We're still hooking up. And I'm giving you the sense that we can work this out.
We're going to therapy.
Mm-hmm. And the therapist is saying this and the therapist is saying that. And maybe if we work on, but I'm not going to move back in the house. Mm-hmm. So he's basically just like gaslighting her about the fact that their relationship's over and giving her false hope. So that's the first part, which the other two husbands have left.
Yeah, that's true.
So what he's doing is actually worse.
Yes, for sure.
On top of that, we come to find out that he's actually sleeping with the therapist that they share.
Bro, this scene, like, rips your heart in two.
It is literally it is the hardest scene to watch.
Because what happens is earlier that evening, he asked her out and he's like, oh, we're going to have dinner. And now she's geeked because prior to this, they make it seem like they would probably meet up and they would hook up. But like, they weren't actually going on dates, I don't believe. But this is the first time he's asked her out to dinner. So now she's telling her mom, like, I think he's ready to commit. Like, therapy is working. Mm-hmm. We're able to communicate. And they have this beautiful evening. They go out. They have, like, dancing at some kind of, like, live music lounge situation. And then we see them, like, at a hotel. Or it might be his apartment.
Nah, they, like, go to some fancy hotel to get dinner.
But someone opened the door. Remember, the therapist comes in.
Yeah, but it's, like, a huge suite.
Because
she had a key.
But why would he have... That's just stupid. Anyway, he has her...
I don't think because he even said, like, he wasn't planning to take her up to the room.
Oh, yeah, he said, yeah.
He was planning to meet up with her to basically call it off.
To break off with her.
And he's like, oh, you came in and you look so beautiful.
You look so good, yeah.
You look so beautiful, I couldn't resist. So it's like, but bro,
he got all boned up.
You knew your girl was coming over that night and you still brought your wife upstairs.
Diabolical.
So it's
the worst part about it to me is, so they go upstairs, they hook up, and then after the fact, she's like, I'm going to tell a therapist we're working on things. Things are going so great. And he looks at her and he smiles and he's like, oh, Annie, I love you. And she's like, I love you too. And he smiles at her and he's like, I want a divorce. No. And it just comes out of nowhere.
Crazy.
it comes out of nowhere because it's like, bro, and she's like, you just told me you love me, you just slept with me, and he's like, I mean, I didn't plan on doing this, but blah blah blah. And as he's basically telling her that it's over, the door opens, the therapist walks in. It's like a double whammy back to back because it's like not only was he lying to her,
that's a whammy.
And the second part is like, oh, the therapist that you've been confiding in, and she's been telling you good job, like she's sleeping with your husband
and continues to try to therapize her
during it.
Well. Annie, this is rough. I know that.
Rough! Wait a minute. I don't understand. You are my therapist?
I'm a woman.
He is my husband.
Annie, we've been separated for months now. Let's not over-dramatize, okay?
Aaron, she's allowed to be angry. Annie, let's use this. He's found someone new. You're free. Closure.
Yes.
I'm sorry, but that is not what this is.
It's like, infuriating.
Nah, it's crazy.
She's like, release your anger. Yes, give into it. What do you feel? It's like, what? What do I feel?
Like I'm about to strangle you. That's
what
how
do I feel? So Annie finally like yells, gets some anger out, and she's.
But it's like this is what it took for her to finally like break the everything is fine facade. Mm-hmm. Because even when they meet up and they order the Virgin Mary Bloody Mary vodka rocks, they're all commiserating about their relationships and how things haven't worked out and how they thought they'd be in a different place. And Annie continues to basically say like, oh, me and my husband, we're doing great and our marriage is okay. And we're not really living in the same house right now, but we're working on it and everything. So it's like, this is kind of what it took to finally get her to be like, everything is not okay.
Yeah.
Like it took this drastic measure for her to finally release her anger and be like, nah, I'm not going to just get along.
And then she realizes like, yo, this actually does suck and we got to come up with a plan because this is crazy. So the other slaves are already in on it because they've been mad at their men. And so they start to figure out like, what can we do to get back at these guys for treating us this way? Basically treating us like we're disposable. And then they end up enlisting the daughter, Chris. So this is a scene where, Chris comes out to Annie very quickly earlier on in the movie, and she says that she's a lesbian. And she's like, does your father know? And she's like, no, I'm going to wait until, a good time to tell him. And she ends up telling him at the worst possible time, which was hilarious later on in the film. But they go to a gay bar and this was kind of weird to me because it's like...
Lesbian bar.
Yeah, but you could have just asked your daughter, like, when she came by the house.
Nah, it's like they're sitting together. They're having like they're having a sad off basically. Like, nah, yo, my life is, I'm not going to be able to act anymore. Well, I'm going to have to work at McDonald's. And they're going back and forth. And Annie's like, guys, like, do you forget what happened to me?
She said, hold my beer.
Yeah, and then it was like, all right, Annie, you win. Like, your life's actually trash.
Yeah.
So this is when they come up with this plan. And then it's like, their first stop, a lesbian bar. It's kind of on the nose, but it's funny enough for them to get away with it.
Yeah.
Where it's like, how can we get back at these men? Oh, let's go to this lesbian bar. And this is the only place we can meet up with my daughter. But whatever.
You see who was at the bar, though? Who was hitting on Elise?
The Orange is the New Black.
Yes.
The one who plays the stereotypical butch lesbian in like every movie
in
ever.
Orange is the New Black. Yeah, I saw her immediately. I was like, oh, that's old girl. I don't know her name. But yeah, that was funny. And Elise is there, and she's having the time of her life because she's drunk, as always. And she's dancing with everyone who will ask her. And they end up going up to Chris. And Chris is trying to talk to this girl, and Annie does not care at all. She's just kind of like, yeah, this is my daughter. Oh, hi. I'm her mom. And she's like, yeah, this is my mom. Mom, what are you doing here?
She's not even picking up. She's not even picking up what's happening.
At all.
She's like, oh, lesbians are great.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mom.
She's trying to be supportive, and she doesn't know how.
She doesn't know how.
It's okay. So Chris, of course, could not be more excited about helping out. She's like, Dad and the other lowlifes? Like, absolutely, I'm in for it. Because she's been trying to tell her mom for a long time, Dad is trash. So she ends up getting a job working for her father so that she can kind of be on the inside to get any scoop of information that could possibly help her mom down the road. And she agrees to help the ladies out. So
let's break this down man by man.
Okay.
Let's break this down man by man. So let's start with Aaron. This is Annie's husband, and he works in, what does he do? Real estate? Architecture?
I honestly don't remember.
Something where he has a big office building. And this is the plan where Chris is like, yo, I'm going to work for Dad, and I'm going to basically try to find something on him so that we can basically get back. So this is the whole plan. We're going to get back at everybody by finding something on him. So basically, the way that they get back on Aaron is connected, I guess, to
Elise.
Mm-hmm. So maybe we should start.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. Yeah,
we can't really start with Aaron.
So it's called Operation Hell's Fury. That's what they call it.
Oh, I didn't even peep that.
That's what they call the operation.
Like a biker gang.
Well, because, hell hath no
hell
fury
hath.
like a woman scorned.
No fury.
So Elise decides that she is going to sell basically everything that she has with her husband. And she has quite a bit of things they've collected over the years that they don't even really need. I mean, it's just Hollywood stuff. Like you make mad money, so you just buy things.
Antiques and
paintings,
fancy furniture and stuff
plates
like
from Japan or whatever. Yeah. Like they just have all these things. And so she's like, oh, he said he wants us to, liquidate the assets and like split it 50-50. She's like, no problem. So she starts selling everything. And there's a scene where
But she doesn't, though. Like, that's the whole thing. It's like, she just grabs up mad stuff. She's like, oh, do you want me to sell out this stuff? I bet. So she basically just takes all the stuff.
All of
mad stuff. And then she's like, oh, I'm just going to basically sell it all to Annie for $1. So this is what she does. She's like, yo, you want me to sell it? I sold it. Here's your half. And she gives him 2 quarters.
And she's like, matter of fact, I'll give you the whole thing. And she gives him the full $1. And he's looking at her like, are you serious?
Yeah. So
because
she's like, you're wrapped. So all the stuff that she now gives to Annie basically puts up for auction because I guess she works in, I don't know. I'm not really clear on how she was auctioning things.
I thought it wasn't under Elise's name because Elise was actually there. No. Yeah, I'm not sure how they got it to auction.
Yeah, I feel like it had something to do with Annie's job. I just don't remember what her job was. But they basically go to like a Sotheby's or like one of those.
Yeah, because she was in the back on the phone, so like she was definitely part of her job. Yeah. You're right. Yeah.
So basically, they're like, yo, like, let's do this. Now, meanwhile, they're bamboozling Shelly, who is Morty's new boo. Mm-hmm.
So she moves in with Morty, and he has given her like access to his credit cards. And because, of course, Morty owns like 12 or 13 different stores, so he's kind of rolling in cash, although he tells his wife he doesn't have any. And so they end up getting into Shelley's head and making it seem like Gunilla, who is the queen of New York society, like wants her to be part of, the haves. And so it's like, oh, well, if you want to be part of our society, you have to have certain things. Your apartment has to look a certain way. You got to use certain designers. And so...
Nah, Mother Superior was cooking. She was cooking because then it was like, basically, like, yo, we're just going to make you believe that you're about to, like, come up. Mm-hmm. So, like, now you got this man who's, like, probably 30 years your senior, and he has money. So now you're going to get to be, like, one of the popping New York
one of the it girls. Yeah, for sure.
And Ganilla's like, yo, this is what you have to do. Like, she hooks her up with Belky.
Yo, he was out of control in that apartment.
Nah,
he was so funny.
So basically, they bamboozle her into like buying all this crap that she doesn't need.
I mean, crazy expensive.
Overpricing it to the point where she's overpaying for it.
Yeah, because Elise would be there bidding, and they're like, "Is that Elise?" And then it's like, "Oh, you can't let her outbid you. Like, she's a washed-up, Hollywood actress.
Yeah,
like,
trash.
Come on, you gotta updo her." So then she ended up coming up out of nowhere and like paying crazy money for a plate and for other random items.
So yeah, so then it's like, it's Elise taking her husband's stuff, selling it to Annie, and then they're using Brenda's husband's new girl to buy all the stuff
on auction. Mm-hmm.
To take the money, to then give to Annie. So that Annie can then buy out her ex-husband's partners and take over his business.
Correct.
So it's a diabolical plan.
It's great.
It comes together perfectly. And it's also like this sense of, like, when I say these like grand themes, you talked about how Brenda was behind her husband, making sure that his business came off the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And Elise is behind her husband, making him a successful producer.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're also seeing Annie basically taking over her husband's business and successfully cutting deals by the end of the film.
Yeah.
While he's just sitting there watching.
It's great.
So there's also this concept of like, all these successful guys actually weren't even that smart. Like, it was the women behind them that were actually the battery behind their success.
Preach.
And so it's like they could just do it themselves.
Yes. They didn't need the men there at all.
Yeah.
That's really the whole thing. And once Annie is able to gain that self-confidence and realize, like, yo, Aaron's actually a piece of garbage, then it was like, oh, like, I could run this company. I can do these things. They end up taking... So then, like...
But again, like, it took the drastic for her to, like, come to grips.
Wake up.
Yeah, it comes for her to wake up.
Because you got to think about it. It's like when you're in a situation, you're not able to see it the way that people on the outside can.
That's facts.
So, and also, it's like she, again, going back to the time she got married, like, divorce is not something you really want to do unless you absolutely have to. Taking into consideration her mother and her idea of, like, make sure you hold down to a man regardless of whatever is happening. So for her, it's like, if he's giving me hope that with therapy and with us working out together, he's still sleeping with me. He's still telling me he loves me.
Yeah.
Like, why would I not think? Yeah, why would I not think that we're going to get back together? Yeah. So, like, I get why she kept falling for it.
Yeah.
But at a certain point, it's like, I mean, come on. It's actually over at this point.
I think it's also like when your own daughter is telling you, like, yo, you need to leave dad alone.
Yeah.
Like, that, I think, would probably hit for me more than my mother saying it. Where it's like, yo, like, this is our kid. This kid that we had together. And even she's telling me, like, yeah, nah. But yeah, this is what it took, and she finally came to terms. So that's how he basically gets wrapped. He loses his business, and now he's a minority partner to his ex-wife.
Mm-hmm.
Which is like,
I know he was
nightmare.
Pissed.
Yeah.
And then they get all the men together for the first Watch Club meeting.
Oh, no, but we still have to go to the other men. So,
Oh yeah.
Morty was a naughty little boy. Morty was being a naughty boy. Morty was a very naughty boy. Because Brenda has an uncle who's...
Uncle Carmine?
Uncle Carmine. He's got mob ties, this guy.
Yeah, he absolutely does.
He's a mob boss. And come to find out, this is when the mob boss, Uncle Carmine, gets mad because Morty shows up to the funeral with the new girl.
With Shelly.
So he's like, yo, this guy's a piece of trash.
Crazy.
And I never really liked him anyway, and I don't know why you put up with this guy.
No, it was his son's bar mitzvah.
Oh, my God.
Which is even worse.
That is what it was.
His son's bar mitzvah.
It was his son's bar mitzvah. And he showed up with the new girl that he left his wife for.
That's crazy.
In front of the whole family.
Yeah. In the front row of the church.
Yeah, so then it's like, yo, you're a beast thing. And she's showing up like mad inappropriately dressed.
Of course. The skimpy little number, show off her body.
She definitely had on a number. I don't know why it's called a number.
You know what a number is.
Yeah, I know what
a number when you see one.
She definitely had on a number. It was a number. It wasn't a big number either. It was a small number.
00, baby.
So then he's like, yeah, this guy's trash. And actually, his whole business is actually fugazi because, number one, we basically gave him money to start the business in the first place. So his whole business was being funded by mob funds. Mm-hmm. And on top of that, he's been cooking the books. So his growth is actually all trash.
Crazy.
Like, basically, he's just been lying. So on top of the fact that you've been, like, smuggling mob funds into your business, you're also now committing fraud. So he's wrapped. So now this is when Belky comes into play. They sneak into his apartment to basically find his files.
Yeah, that's right.
So he gets wrapped because they basically blackmail him. They actually kidnap him.
Well,
the mob kidnaps him.
Yeah. He thought it was the cops.
Yeah.
That's what it was. And it was actually the mob.
Yeah.
And they're like, yo, we know about what you did.
And it's like, bro, we have copies of all your files. Like, you're wrapped.
Unless
you
write these checks.
You write these checks.
Pay me. What choice does he have?
Yeah. And then...
Oh, and lastly, we
got to talk about the last guy.
Elise's man.
So after she wraps all the assets...
Bill.
There's a last piece for Bill.
Man, so Bill, as we know, he's been dating...
Jesse Spano.
That's not her name. Phoebe.
That's not her name?
Her name is Phoebe.
I thought her name was Jesse Spano. It's crazy because when we meet Jesse,
Phoebe.
When we meet Phoebe,
Buffet.
When we meet nah Buffet,
Buffet, yeah.
Nah.
I said it and I was like, maybe he won't catch it, and I was like,
Phoebe Buffet. That's crazy.
Jimmy Buffet.
Yeah, Jimmy Buffet. Right. That's crazy.
Okay, Phoebe.
Margaritaville.
AKA Jesse Spano.
So Jesse Spano is like, yo, when we meet her off rip, she's like bouncing around like.
And I was wondering.
She's acting mad immature.
I was like, why is she acting like this? Like, and it made sense later on.
It was crazy because when they first met up and they're having drinks, they're all complaining about how their husbands left them for like a 12-year-old, right? That's how they're describing these women who are basically in their 20s. But it's like, yo, you left me for a child and you're a grown-ass man.
Right.
So when we meet her, she's acting mad immature. She's obsessed with Elise.
Oh, God. Oh, my God, I love you.
She's an up-and-coming actress and she like looks up to her. So it's like, yeah, I'm now sleeping with your ex-husband, but I'm actually
you're amazing.
A big fan of yours.
Right.
So... yeah. So then what becomes of Phoebe?
Well, we realized that Phoebe is actually still in high school.
She's not in high school, but she's of high school age.
Yeah. She's what, 16 years old?
She's 16.
And of course, Bill's like, I didn't know. I had no idea. And it's like, well, I'm pretty sure a lot of people will be interested to know what's going on here. So if you don't want me to say anything, better write them checks, boy.
Yeah. Pay up.
So they blackmail him as well.
Pay up, Bubba. So now they're all blackmailed. Except for, I guess, Aaron isn't really blackmailed.
No, he just has,
he just lost his business.
Yeah.
They just wrapped
It's just quiet for him.
Yeah, because he didn't actually do anything illegal, I don't think. It was just the fact that he was just immoral.
Right.
And he's sleeping with his therapist and all this stuff.
I mean, she's immoral, but...
yeah, she should lose her business.
She is out of control.
Because that's like the number one rule of therapy is don't sleep with your clients.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Oh, God, there's a lot to say. All right. So, yeah, they end up getting blackmailed. And at this point in the film, it's funny because I've seen this movie so many times and I forgot the ending.
Yeah.
Like, I forgot what they actually did with the funds. I just remember the payback and the guys having to pay them.
Because that's the part that's what stands out. That's the Kevin McAllister bonking the bad guys on the head and putting the tarantula on Marv's face. Like, that's the part that you remember.
The blowtorch to the head.
Yeah, the blowtorch to the head. This is what this movie is. It's a blowtorch to the head to misogynistic society.
But they end up creating this women's like crisis center to essentially help, women, whether they're battered or they're being abused or whatever is going on with them, to basically help out. And I thought that was such a good way to end it because it was like, at first they're like getting their revenge, right? And it's fun to get revenge for a little bit, but at a certain point it's like, well, to what end? And also, are we just like becoming them? Like, now we're just using them for money, but like, what else could we possibly be doing? And they decide to use the money for good.
Yeah, because at first when they had this conversation about like, all right, like we could get back at these dudes, but like it needs to be bigger than this. We can do more. Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking like, oh, they're gonna expand this to a business model where they basically just
that's what I thought.
Find a bunch of first wives, and get back
and
at
screw all their
mad ex-husbands.
Yeah.
And when we see them, first of all, they have this like apartment space that Elise just like, oh, I had this apartment that I was subletting, and it has nobody in it. And I'm thinking to myself, like, number one, how long would it have taken to renovate this into an entire office? But number two,
She got money, honey.
Yes, but like, it still takes time to renovate an empty space. Anyway, why did they need an office? Because none of them live with the husbands anymore. Couldn't they have just done this out of their own homes? Like, it doesn't. It didn't really make any sense.
Yeah, I thought they were gonna start seeing like not patients, but like you said,
clients.
prospective people to come in and be like,
this
what'd your
happened to
husband
you.
do?
Come meet with us at this office.
Yeah.
Then it's like, oh, y'all are just getting blackmail on your own husbands. Like, you didn't really need a whole different space.
They have to kidnap them and bring them to that spot.
Oh, well, they've actually brought him to like a meat hanger, so they didn't bring him to that space.
Well, I mean, like when they gave them business cards,
at the end,
and they went there to
go
meet
to this
up.
address. Be there in 2 hours.
See.
Be there in 2 hours, see? And then when they show up, they have this office door. They have a First Wives Club logo, and it looks like they're like a rap music label.
Yeah.
It's like Death Row Records. Like this label on the door. I'm like, yo,
pretty funny.
Who are these? What is this? Bad Boy Records? Like, what's going on here?
I think Chris made that sign.
Yeah, I definitely feel like, and it's like a 1, like First Wives Club with a 1 with like an engagement ring on it.
Yeah.
So they wrap that idea and they turn into a crisis center, and then at the end though, we see that Brenda and Morty get back together.
Yeah.
So how did you feel about that?
Yeah. So you could tell that the whole thing with Shelley was starting to implode because she was spending money left, right, and center. Yes, they were using her to do that, but she also,
money before
I mean, and she's also clearly very materialist. I mean, obviously, she's 20-something getting married to this old man. So we know what this is about. And he realizes, like, she's never really going to be happy because although she says, like, oh, like, you didn't ask me to be your wife yet. And then he does, but then she still won't pick a wedding date. So he's like, you say you want to get married, but like, what is it? And she's like, well, I don't feel like I'm special. Like, I'm the most important person in your life. And he's like, she's like, I'm not Brenda. And he's like, yeah, I could see that. And that's the moment where I was like, he's missing. When they opened
the crisis center,
she
refuses
her.
to come in.
Yeah. And she makes a comment about like, oh, it's a bunch of like battered women and they're dancing around. I was like, good God.
Yeah,
like, she was
crazy.
very insensitive.
That was crazy.
She was very insensitive.
That was crazy.
But it's also, I feel like she's almost like a pick-me type of girl because she says that to another man. She says that to Bill.
Oh, yeah. Well, her and Bill kind of hook up later.
Right. Well, so I'm saying it's like when she said that to Bill, it's almost like, you know, I'm not like those weak women. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, you can be with me. Like, I'm not going to cry foul play.
Yeah, I'm young and hot. And
yeah. So I was like, all right, y'all deserve each other. Go somewhere. But yeah, at that point, Morty realizes like, this is really not what I want from my life. She's the mother of my child. And like, the fact that I think that she took the money and did something positive with it, I think that meant something to him. Mm-hmm. And like you said, they do kind of make it seem like she lost weight too, which I didn't really care for because it's like, why did she have to lose weight?
She didn't.
I know, but I'm saying they make it seem like
I'm agreeing with you.
They make it seem like she did, and it's like, why does she have to lose weight for him to come around?
It's like that's the redemption arc.
I didn't like that.
Look, she's better now. She lost weight. Yeah. It's like, nah, come on, bro. Like that wasn't the point of
that. Was the one thing I didn't like. I was like, we don't need her to lose weight to get him back. But
I actually think all of the look how big Bette Midler is the only thing I noted as like this didn't age well.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. So at first I was kind of like, screw them all. I don't know. I mean, I think the reason why they put that in there was to show like there is redemption and there is forgiveness. And he did seem like he was sorry for what happened.
Yeah. And
it wasn't a situation like with the other guy where like he gets found out to be cheating. It's like he was very clear about like, I'm leaving you and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. And then he realizes like, this is not actually what I want. And I actually might want to get back with you. And she still loves the guy. So, I mean, who am I to say they shouldn't get back together? You know, I'm not in their relationship.
So then Bill basically finds out his girlfriend's 16 and then basically, I guess, hooks up with Shelley. So he's moved on to a 20-something. Elise.
She's of age, at least.
Yes, she's of age. So that's a step up for him. They say Elise finally gets a role on a stage play. Yeah. And they say that she starts dating her co-star from the play.
Yeah.
So she's moved on.
Annie.
And then lastly, it says that Aaron tries to get back with Annie, and she tells him to drop dead.
Yes. Favorite part. I love that for her.
Yeah, that was
because all she really wanted was to get him back. And the fact that she had that chance and turned it down shows growth.
Yeah, and it's also like, you want to get back with me now after you basically like broke my heart, played me, and after I took over your business.
You see I'm successful.
Yeah, now it's like, oh, but baby, please. baby, please.
So the ending, everybody knows the end of this movie because it's spectacular. The You Don't Own Me is just the perfect way to end this movie. I watched the movie and then I instantly had to listen to the song. Like, it was just like the movie finished and I was like, well, it's Spotify. And I just started playing the song because, like, I just could not watch this movie without listening to that song.
You don't own me. Don't try to change me in any way. You don't own me. Don't tie me down, 'cause I'll never stay. I don't tell you what to say. I don't tell you what to do.
It just does something to you.
Nah, it hits.
As a woman, I played it so many times. My husband is sick of the song. He's like, babe, not again. I'm like, just one more time. It's only 2 minutes.
Don't tell me what to play.
He's sick of it. I'm like, it's so good. It's so good.
You don't own me or my Spotify.
So I actually wanted to make a point about the music because the opening song is this song that I believe it's called Lovers and Wives, and it's by Dionne Warwick.
Mm-hmm.
And in the song, it talks about how women should prepare for their man to come home from work, and also how they should make sure that they look good and don't have rollers in their hair before he leaves for work. Because you don't want him going into the office where men will be men. Time to get ready for love.
Every day after day, there are girls at the office, and men will always be men. Now don't send them off with your hair still in curlers. You may not see him again.
And so it's talking about like all the things a woman should be doing.
Be on your P's and Q's so he doesn't leave you for his secretary.
And I think the opening shows where all the women were at the beginning of the film. It's like they were doing all these things and it still wasn't enough to keep their man. And then by the end, it was like, you don't own me.
You don't.
You don't. So like just the evolution of the musical choice, I loved that.
That was good.
From the beginning to the end, I was like, yes.
We also see at the beginning of the film that when they're graduating from college, one of them, I don't remember which one, but one of them buys the whole group these fancy pearl necklaces as like a memento.
I think it was Cynthia.
Cynthia does it, okay. As a memento for like their friendship. We're best friends in college. We're graduating. We're going to this next chapter in our lives. And so throughout the course of the movie, these necklaces come to be a symbol of like the friendship that they had. And so we see them back at the end of the film celebrating in their new crisis center that they created, that they named after Cynthia. And they all have the pearls back on.
They're all wearing white.
And they're like, and the white dresses is kind of like a remarriage of sorts, right? Like almost like recommitting to yourself, opposed to like putting on a white dress and being married to this man. It's like now I'm like
marrying myself.
I'm marrying my own ambition.
Yes. Also, I think it's like the whole idea of friendship and being stronger together, and the woman empowerment. It's like when you're by yourself, it's so much harder to stand on your own 2 feet. Whereas when you had, in their time, 2 women behind you pushing you and rooting you on, it's going to make you stronger. So I just loved it. I loved that part so much.
The only sad thing is that it took Cynthia dying for them to reconnect. Because you kind of think, had she not, they may have gone even longer without meeting back up.
I kind of wanted to talk about, so we've already mentioned the patriarchy and how it affects Annie and Brenda and Elise, and also Cynthia. But I wanted to mention, when I thought about it, it even affects Shelley and Phoebe, because for Shelley, she believes that like her body is all she has to offer to these men, because she's very much like, you know, putting herself out there and like, again, like being that like the man's girl who like
size 0 with the skimpy,
and it's like
skimpy numbers.
I'm not a battered woman. I'm, you know, and it's, you know, so that was kind of just like, I kind of like, you almost feel bad for her in a sense that it's like, bro, at some point your body's not going to be where it is, and what's going to happen to you then?
She's going to turn into Elise.
Again, it's going to be sad because now you're going to be drinking yourself away. And then with Phoebe, it's like you're a child who believes the only way you can get ahead is by having sex with a director or a producer in order to enhance your career. So it's like she's also being used by the patriarchy. Because I feel like when you, first time I watched it, I just thought about the men and how terrible they were. But like watching it back now that I'm older, I'm like, yo, the women were being used throughout this film in all sense of the words. And I mean, even if I wanted to stretch and be devil's advocate for the therapist, how persuasive is Aaron when talking to the therapist? What is he whispering in her ear? What is he saying to her to make her feel that, you know, he finds her worthy where other men may not? I mean, even therapists have therapists. So maybe she's going through her own things, and Aaron was able to check into that. And again, I don't feel sorry for her. I'm not saying that. But I'm just saying, like,
I'm not buying that one as much.
No, but it's possible. We don't know what the therapist's self-esteem is like. So, like, it's possible Aaron could have gotten her head.
She has a professional
Again,
duty.
I'm not saying that she's right, Joel.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying that you're saying that she's right. I'm just saying that I don't feel particularly bad for her.
I'm just making the argument that it's possible that he could have gotten into her head and convinced her otherwise, because he was a very convincing dude.
I will say that I didn't particularly feel bad for Shelley either, although I see where her mindset came from. But I did kind of feel bad for Phoebe, especially knowing that she's 16.
Yeah.
It's like she's caught up in this world that she's kind of... Throughout the film, even, you get the sense that she is really just trying to figure out how to be successful. And she's like fawning over Elise and like, yo, she goes to
lunch with
the
her.
opening show of her play and she's like front row clapping and she's like, yo, like, I just want to like...
Be like you.
Be an actor and I want to be like you. So it's like... I didn't get the sense from that character that she had like malicious intent.
No, not at all.
Opposed to Shelley, who's like actually being a piece of crap.
Phoebe's a victim for sure.
Yeah. So I think we talked about a lot of the themes, but is there anything else that you want to point out in terms of themes of this movie, or like any overarching theme that you think?
I mean, I feel like
should be stated.
I feel like we touched on all of it: female empowerment, friendship, forgiveness. The patriarchy sucks.
Agency for women.
Yeah.
I think something that I noticed more watching the film this time is that like this film is obviously a critique of patriarchy. It's a critique of misogyny. But I also feel now watching it 30 years later, it's also like a critique of the 90s.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't even know if people would have even noticed that in the 90s, right?
No,
but it's like,
absolutely not.
You're basically saying like, yo, this society that we've created is like mad problematic, and these are all the ways that it affects the women who we often see as like these side characters in the story
objects.
Of men.
You're right.
But like, no, we're actually going to make them central of this story, and we're going to talk about all the ways that like this society that we've created throughout the course of the 90s, this is now 1996. We've been living this for 6 years, even longer, right? But like this moment that we're in is actually really problematic for women.
Yeah.
And I think that is kind of what makes this movie like stand the test of time, is that you can kind of see that time capsule. And not to say that like we're so much better in 2024 and everything's fixed now, but like
we got the Me Too movement.
I think you see the 90s, like the 90s problems jumped out at me more watching it
absolutely.
This time. Yeah.
Well, Joel, this is before Me Too and before men were leaning in. You remember the lean in?
Before they didn't lean in. They were forced to lean in this film after they got blackmailed.
Oh, well. All right, some facts?
That's it.
Okay. So I'm sure you noticed this, but in 96, Ivana Trump was married to Donald Trump at the time. And she stuck with him for a while until he basically broke up with her for someone who was younger, Marlon Maples. And it was like a huge tabloid scandals in the early 90s. And so in the film, there's a part where I believe Ivana Trump shows up to the crisis center at the very end. And she says, don't get mad, get everything. And it was very timely to have her there because it was like, bro, like she actually went through this. And she had one line and it's like, This is great that she's here to
cameo.
do that.
I didn't peep that.
Yeah.
I was like, who's this woman?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. One of his exes. So, of course, we mentioned before with this cast, a number of them have done movies together. So I mentioned before that Bette Midler and Sarah Jessica Parker were in the Hocus Pocus movies. Diane Keaton and Goldie Hawn were in a movie called Town and Country. And Diane Keaton and Sarah Jessica Parker were also in a movie called The Family Stone. So they've all worked with each other on multiple films. There was a show on Netflix, which has 3 seasons, called The First Wives Club. And it's starred by Michelle Buteau. I'm saying that right.
Yeah.
She's from Survival of the Thickest, another show, which is actually pretty funny. There's also Jill Scott is on there. And then Ryan Michelle Bath, I want to say. She's from Boston Legal. I've seen a few episodes and it's really good. like the men are so trash that you're just like, bro, like how could you do this to her?
But it's also like the same characters, right? They just like tweak them a little bit.
Well, Jill Scott, of course, is a singer-songwriter. She's a singer in the show.
Elise. No, she's not Elise. She's Elise.
Yeah,
okay.
The Hollywood one. Ryan Michelle Bath, her husband is running for like some kind of political position. And then Michelle Buteau is a doctor, and her husband is kind of like a stay-at-home dad, and he's cheating with someone like on the PTA or something. So it's slightly different.
Okay.
But I think she might be more of the Annie character if you kind of think about it that way. But it's interesting to say the least. But like, yeah, you hate these guys, and you're just like.
But how do you flip this film into a series? Like, how do you? Because it's basically a revenge story.
Well, little by little, things come out. You know what I mean? It's not like the first episode, you're just like, boom. It's like things start happening as the show progresses, obviously. I mean, 3 seasons is a lot. I haven't watched the whole thing.
It's a lot. It's a lot of revenge.
I haven't watched the whole thing, so I can't tell you what happens. But
big payback.
I've seen a few episodes, and so far it's very entertaining. Let's see here. Jon Stewart was supposed to be in this film. He was supposed to play...
He was too busy shooting The Craft. Not The Craft, The Faculty.
The Faculty. He was supposed to be Elise's younger boyfriend, and apparently it was a pretty big part, but they ended up cutting out about 40 minutes out of the film because, things end up on the chopping block, and they ended up chopping up his entire storyline, so he didn't get in. He was supposed to be the new boyfriend. Yeah, for Elise.
Oh, yeah. They didn't show him on screen.
Yeah.
They just mentioned him at the end.
Yeah, it wasn't really a big thing. So for Goldie Hawn's collagen treatment, they had to simulate it by injecting her lips with a harmless saline solution. Although it's temporary, Goldie Hawn was saying that the experience was actually quite painful and it discouraged her from ever getting collagen for real. So I looked it up.
That's crazy. I thought they just did makeup.
Right? You would think so.
That seems like a lot less harmful for like...
Well, there's no effects. It's saline.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're going to have side effects from it. So they're like, oh, this is going to look real, which of course it did.
Yeah, it did.
Like her lips blew up. So I looked it up, and apparently it's called Cinderella lips. It's a procedure people can do with saline because the effects last for 24 to 48 hours.
Before your lips turn back into a pumpkin.
So you inject it in your lips to go to a big party or... Yeah.
That's crazy.
Got your lips nice and plump, and then it goes back down over time. And then you go back to it's
normal.
like a temporary tattoo for your lips.
That is exactly what it is.
And this movie is based on a book. It came out in 1992 by Olivia Goldsmith by the same title. So there you have it.
All right.
Rewind, rewatch, rating.
Okay.
That's the new jingle.
I didn't even know that was... I didn't know we had it cleared. That was going to be a surprise, but I guess we're debuting it today. All right, rewind rating. Yeah, I think this movie ages really well for all the reasons that we already mentioned. But I think, like I said, it is a time capsule in a sense that it does kind of have all these 90s concepts, but the overall concepts are still pretty timeless in terms of just like women being devalued in a men-centered society. And I think that this film does a really good job of like pointing out all the reasons why that's problematic, not only to the female characters, but also like, you know, patriarchy is bad for men too. So I think I think being able to kind of go back and watch this movie again, you could still kind of like pull different things out of it. And for me, that's a big part of whether or not a movie is rewatchable is like, am I able to like watch it once and get everything I need, or can I still go back and get more? And I feel like you can still get more. So I think, and also Diane Keaton does a great job. I know we talked about Goldie Hawn, but like Diane Keaton, especially in that hotel scene, she's giving you everything.
Oh my
you need.
God.
Like she plays like that flustered woman so well. And I think the chemistry that the three of them have makes you like have fun watching it, them act, which is a lot to be said for that. I'm gonna give this movie a 5 rewinds because like this is a movie I feel like you can always come back to. I'm giving it a 5.
I just feel like you keep stealing my ratings. I'm going first next week.
Should have went first, buddy. You should have went first.
Because for me, so as a woman watching this, there were a few scenes, particularly when they go out to eat the lunch and they're ordering drinks and they're commiserating about their relationships. It's like, this is what we do. Like this, like take any group of women and tell them to watch this scene. They're going to be like, yes, this is what it's like. Like you sit down. At first it's like, oh, well, you know, things are going all right. Because especially it's like, you haven't seen these women in 20 years. Right? So like you're not gonna just come out and just divulge everything off the bat, particularly Annie. It's kind of like, oh, it's okay.
Yeah, but then the drink started
But
flowing.
then, yes, as you see like more and more cups, empty glasses, then it's all of a sudden it's like,
system, ain't no telling.
Then it's like, oh, this is actually this bad. Because like now, I think part of it too is like you feel a little bit embarrassed sometimes about things.
Of course.
So it's like I don't really want to divulge everything.
But this is also patriarchy, right? It's the concept of if the relationship's not going well, as a woman, it's your fault. And that's a pressure that I don't think men have to carry.
That's true.
Whereas like, oh, a man can have a failing relationship and just blame his girl.
That's true. I also was thinking about social media in the comments, where the comments are always out of control.
Always.
But there'll be something where like a woman is complaining about her husband cheating on her or doing whatever. And without a doubt, there will be a woman in the comments saying like, well, you don't know how to keep your man.
If you had XYZ.
Yeah, if you had done this, if you did this. And it's like, why are we blaming other women for, quote unquote, not holding on to their man or not keeping their man? And it's like, if he's going to cheat, if he wants to cheat, he's going to cheat. It doesn't matter what you do, how much makeup you put on, how much food you cook for him or anything else. Like, I don't understand that logic. And with this, it was very much, what I liked about it is, although there was one small scene they kind of start nipping at each other a little bit. And I mean, Brenda calls Elise out for the drinking. It's like, bro, like you're drinking way too much and it's kind of out of control.
That's a good friend.
But then I think, doesn't Elise kind of call her fat? Like she made a comment about her weight.
Nah, she snaps back. Like, but she's also a drunk.
So it was kind of crazy. But I feel like apart from that one scene, there really wasn't a lot of like, you're the reason why he left.
No.
You know what I mean? So it was nice to have that nice friendship where it's like I can turn to my girlfriends, I can tell them what's going on, and we can kind of work together to get back at them. So I love this movie. Not to mention the music, which I talked about. It's fantastic. It's a feel-good movie for me. I'll always watch it. I'll always love it. And you cannot make me give it anything less than a 5. So
I didn't try to. Sheesh.
You cannot make me give it less than a 5.
All right, man, relax.
All right.
Let us know your rewind rating for the First Wives Club in the comments, in our DMs. Let us know. And we'll be back. I guess not next week.
No.
Next week will be Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving, we'll give you guys a week off to enjoy your families and your friends, your Friendsgivings.
Yeah, because what we don't want is, your whole family's together there on the table, and you're like, wait, I have to finish listening to Rewind, Rewatch Sorry, mom and dad.
Holding up dinner.
Yeah, they're all like waiting to cut the turkey, and you're like, 30 minutes left in this episode. I'll be right there. Like, we didn't want to do that.
Yeah. We're very considerate of your time.
Yeah, very considerate.
All right, so enjoy your family, enjoy your turkey. If you're vegetarian or vegan, enjoy the sides.
Vegan mac and cheese.
Yeah, enjoy your sides.
No, yeah, we'll be back after the holidays and with another 90s film for your enjoyment.
All right, hit us up. Later.
Goodbye.